Good morning from Fort Collins, Colorado. I'm Brandon. This is Kalie.
Hi.
And today we're heading from Fort Collins all the way to Lincoln, Nebraska, and then on to Minnesota. Let's get started. And we're going to get going by going to Starbucks first. So we just placed our mobile order. We're heading to go grab it now. We got our Starbucks. Kaylee's enjoying her pumpkin scone. I already ate mine. And let me show you guys the route that we're going to Ogallala, Nebraska. So here we are in Fort Collins, and then we're going to be heading through Cheyenne and across. It's a little bit longer, but should be faster. It's about 214 miles, so with the car estimating 260 miles, it might be a little bit of a challenge, but we'll slow down if we need to. We just arrived to the Ogallala, Nebraska Electrify America, and we arrived with 2%, 5 miles estimated range remaining. We've driven almost 2,200 miles so far this trip, and since we left this morning, 211 miles starting from 100% going all the way down to 2%, 2.9 mile per kilowatt hour, average speed 68 miles an hour. Let's get plugged in. Just plugged us in here. Let's see that we get the full speeds. Cable cooling is ramping up. Should be seeing charging on the screen here any second now. Continue. And there we have it. At 2%, we're getting full power. We just finished charging here in, what is this town called again? Oh, Ogallala, Nebraska. And we're about to head east to Lexington, Nebraska. We charged up to 61% in about 25 minutes. Pretty painless stop. I mean, we basically just hung out a little bit in the car, went into Walmart, used the restroom, and the car was ready to go. And we're going to be going 111 miles to Lexington, which is past where Tesla has their supercharger in Gothenburg. The car's projecting 147 miles of range, so should be good. We could have charged all the way up here and made it all the way to Grand Island, but it doesn't make sense to charge much more than like 50-60% if you can avoid it. Just because it's faster to be lower in the pack rather than charge it all the way up because your charging slows down so much. But let's get on the road because that's what Kaylee's smile is for.
Let's go.
And we did it again, 2%. And we did 110 miles, averaging 74 miles per hour, 2.5 mile per kilowatt hour. We just arrived at the, what's it called? The Lexington Electrify America. Just plugged in here, hopefully you can hear me. And we're at 2%, and we are ramping up here quickly as always. Now let me show you this Jaguar I-Pace over here. There's our ID4, of course, and this pretty sweet looking I-Pace. Don't see them too often with mud flaps, roof carrier, all that fun stuff. Also want to show you a little pro trick here. I didn't use it because I like having the sessions logged and I have free charging anyway. However, on this one, number 3 here, it shows complimentary session. So that means you have free charging on this station if you were to pull up here and plug in. And if you don't have free charging like we do with the ID4, that could be pretty big savings for you. Well, we went and got snacks at Walmart. I got 2 Nerds ropes because I'm a nerd. And the best M&Ms, peanut butter M&M. Oh, and Kaylee got back to human chocolate because she's feeling the need to get back to being a human instead of being an alien.
I don't want to be a human. But I haven't tried this, so it should be interesting. Not sure how it's going to taste.
This is cashew butter with pure vanilla bean dark chocolate, 70% cacao, vegan, paleo, no refined sugar, no cane sugar, no sugar alcohols, no
Sounds like it's gonna be awful, truthfully.
erythritol, no dairy, soy, no palm oil, no lecithins, no vanilla extract.
I will be shocked if it tastes good.
So the ingredients are organic cacao, organic unrefined coconut sugar, organic cashew, organic cocoa butter, organic vanilla bean, and sea salt.
Hopefully it's good, but I'm skeptical. We shall see.
Yeah. One way to find out.
So we charged up to 89%, right?
Yeah, 88, 89, I don't remember.
I think it was 89. That iPace was still there when we left. It looked like their charging session might have failed at, well, they probably had their charge. Do they have a charge limit on that?
I think so. I would guess that they had their charge limit set to 80%. It ended the session because as we drove by, I just peeked at their screen. I could see it looked like it started roughly 80% and they were up to 95%.
But yeah.
And we came and left and we had charged from 2% to 90,
89, yeah.
89%. And that was like a 43-minute charge session, which is definitely on the longer end for us.
Well, and they had already been there for a hot minute when we got there, so.
Yeah, they had been there for 47 minutes, I believe, when I got out of the car and looked at their screen before we went into Walmart.
Yeah. So.
And they were only at 75% at that point, and they arrived with 16%, so I would definitely not want to be road tripping in that iPace, especially with the roof box killing the efficiency even more.
Yeah, they probably need that 100%.
Yeah, so now we're going to Lincoln. That's 161 miles from that charging stop. But we do have a bailout option in Grand Island since I didn't want to charge all the way to 100%. And that's 76 miles. So we'll probably go all the way to Lincoln, but if we need to, we'll stop about halfway. We just arrived to Lincoln, Nebraska, 160 miles, 2.4 mile per kilowatt hour, and we arrived with 3%. Let's activate the station here. We're on number 2. Just like that. And let's head outside and get plugged in. And just like that, we're charging, ramping back up again. This is just another 4-stall install, and this one is actually at a Casey's instead of at a Walmart. We charged up to 50% at the Lincoln, Nebraska Electrify America. Now we're headed to go get dinner with a friend of mine, and then we're gonna head to our hotel, call it a night. Our hotel apparently has charging in the parking ramp, but it's like $1 an hour or something, so we'll see if we end up actually using that depending on how much charge we use. But I think the Council Bluffs, Iowa one isn't too far, so we might be able to just make it without even charging, but we'll figure it out in the morning. So we just had a lovely dinner at a place called Catalyst with my friend Megan and her little family. Now we're at the hotel. It's called the Cornhusker Marriott or something like that, or I think it's called the Cornhusker. Anyway, we're in the parking ramp.
Lincoln by Marriott.
No, I thought it was called the Cornhusker.
Lincoln by Marriott, something Cornhusker.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're plugged in here on their charge point level 2 in the parking garage. It's 25 cents an hour for the first 4 hours, and then $1 an hour after that. And it's 6.2 kilowatts shared. I think we're at 43%, so even if we have pretty limited power overnight, we'll still start the morning with a full charge, which is the goal here. And we'll see you guys in the morning. So Kaylee, what do we think of this place?
Yeah, it's nice.
Especially for what, 60 something a night?
I think it was 67.
Yeah, with fees and everything.
Yeah.
It's a 3.5-star hotel right in downtown. We've got a view of the Capitol.
Yeah, we have to pay for parking, but I think that's gonna be like $11, so.
Yeah, and then charging will probably be like $6 or $7, which, considering we haven't paid for any other charging this entire trip, it's fine by me.
But with the hotel being so cheap, it made the most sense.
I think we'll still be under $100 for the night with parking, charging, everything.
Yeah, every other hotel in the area was way more expensive, so even for crappier places. So
yeah, we're gonna probably watch the Apple keynote and head to bed. Good morning from Lincoln, Nebraska. We're headed out from our hotel, the Cornhusker Hotel, and we're headed to a place called The Mill Coffee and Bistro by the University of Nebraska. And then we're headed to Charged Automotive, go hang out with the guys there, check out some of the cars they have, and then we'll hit the road to Minneapolis. Are you excited for coffee, Kalie?
Yeah. This sounds like we're never going to make it to Minneapolis at this rate.
We will. Well, we went and visited Charged Automotive here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Now we're headed to the Council Bluffs, Iowa, outside the Omaha Metro, Electrify America. And Kalie's driving for this leg. We ended up going all the way to basically Des Moines. We're in Waukee, Iowa. We drove 175 miles. Kalie drove the entire way, 2.7 mile per kilowatt hour. I'll show you the screen here. But we arrived with 15%, and I'm about to go get us plugged in. Here are the stats for this drive: 175 miles, like I was saying, an average speed of 65 miles an hour.
So we just charged at the, where is it? It's not in Des Moines, it's outside.
It's called Waukee, I think. It's like Milwaukee without the mill in front.
Cool. So we charged there. We charged to what, 100% or 99%?
Yeah, we charged completely to 100% until charging stopped. The reason being, Minneapolis, I think, is like 258 miles or so.
So we're gonna have to stop.
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's pushing it, but it looks like our only charging option is going to be a paid 62 kilowatt, maybe slightly more charge point, like right on the Illinois or the Iowa-Minnesota border. So I wanted to minimize how much we needed to charge there, both for time saving since it's kind of slow, and for cost saving. Yeah, because they not only charge you 25 cents per kilowatt hour, they also charge you 20 cents per minute. So you're getting double billed, and I cannot support that kind of charging station except for the bare minimum needed to get to Minneapolis.
I'll stay persistent.
We just arrived to Northwood, Iowa at the Northwood Come and Go. We arrived with 38% charge here. And let's get plugged in. These are actually ChargePoint CPE 250 units. And hopefully they're installed as a linked pair and should be able to do up to 200 amps. Otherwise they're only about 160 amps. So it looks like they are set up as paired. Let's see the price here. So 25 cents a kilowatt hour, that's pretty reasonable. And let's activate that with ChargePoint on Apple Wallet. So just like that, tap and go. And then we'll grab the CCS cable here. And what's kind of cool is that if you look at the top there, as you pull it, swings the whole thing out. So it gives you a little bit more slack. Open my charge port door. And get this plugged in. And just like that. Let's see what kind of power we get. Waiting for EV. And there we go, it's communicating. Receive that has 38%. And there we go, it's ramping up. And it should do full power that it can output at this point at 38%. So that's pretty darn solid, about 72 kilowatt. Not bad, that should be about the 200 amps, because we're probably about 375 volts right now. Well, we just finished charging here in Northwood, Iowa. We charged up to 78%. We added 30.2 kilowatt hour, and it cost $7.56, 25 cents a kilowatt hour. I guess the price reported on PlugShare that had per kilowatt hour and per minute was actually incorrect, or was maybe correct at one point, but At least this time it's 25 cents a kilowatt hour, which is totally reasonable. I think we maxed out around 78 kilowatt, but I find the 125 kilowatt advertising on these units to be pretty misleading, considering you'd need to be at least 625 volts to get that. So we're gonna head to a 150 kilowatt DC fast charger that's in Albert Lea, Minnesota. PlugShare reports it as down, but I want to check it out. It's right off the interstate, and then that way we kind of have an option depending on what way we want to leave Minnesota and go back to Charlotte. So we're gonna head there. I think it's only like 20 or 30 miles, so not very far at all. So we made it to Albert Lea, Minnesota. We're charging on this FSEC unit run by Zeph Energy. It's so unbelievably stupid to use. So they have their own app, the ZephNet or Zeph Energy app. Let me see here. Yeah, Zeph Energy. You have to use that to activate it, even though it's free. And before you can activate it on the app, you have to add $5, which is their minimum like account balance to hold, to even activate the charger. And it's free. I just don't understand why all these charge companies seem to feel the need that they need their own app, they need to have a balance on the account, and you need an app to activate a free charger. They're not like secured or anything. Like, this is the chat emotes just hanging out on the side. There's no reason I should have to use an app to activate this charger. Or if I do, use one of the existing common apps or have roaming agreements with ChargePoint. I guess Greenlots is probably fine. Electrify America, literally anyone. If you're making a charging network, you don't need your own app unless you're going to be building out and building hundreds or thousands of charging units. And ZephNet is basically only in Minnesota and a few spots outside the Midwest. So unless you're living in the Midwest, I'd have a hard time recommending stopping here. Just stop at the charge point 15 miles south of here if you're coming from Iowa to Minneapolis, or hopefully soon there will be an Electrify America between here. But anyway, that's the end of my rant. We're probably going to charge up to 80 or 90%, so that way we get to the hotel with a little bit more charge. Maybe grab a snack here. This is at the Trails Travel Plaza. There's actually 12 superchargers behind me. So Kalie's in the car and we'll head inside. Also, let me show you guys what this station looks like. So here it shows you your state of charge, time, energy, and power. So not a bad display, but very clumsy to use. And here's their sticker on how to use it. Oh, and not to mention, that obnoxious noise is coming from the station. And they've got the cabinet over here. We charged up to 97%, and now we're headed, I believe it's 90 miles.
Yeah. Go.
Is that on your phone? Oh, that's my phone. Now we're headed 90 miles to the Renaissance by Marriott, I think, right? In Bloomington, which if you watched, I think it was when we had the Model Y with your Model S. The last time we were in Minneapolis, we stayed there also. It's a very nice hotel, very reasonably priced. I think we paid like $250 for 3 nights, which is crazy cheap for a 4-star hotel. And actually like a nice 4-star, not a rundown 4-star. So we're gonna hit the road. Now that we've made it to the hotel, you can see our stats for today. We drove 425 miles and averaged 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour. We had a bit of a tailwind today, so that certainly helped. And here's our drive from the Albert Lea DC fast charger. And so far for this whole trip since we left Charlotte, driven almost 3,000 miles. Well, we just got checked into the Renaissance Hotel, brought all our stuff up. More accurately, I brought all of our stuff up.
Up? You didn't have to change levels. We're on the floor. The base
No, I brought
floor.
some of it up. I parked on the ground floor.
Okay.
But anyway, we're gonna leave you guys here. We made it to Minneapolis. Didn't have any charging issues. It was a little wonky, like between Des Moines and Minneapolis, but it worked out fine on both of them. Though I'm still a little salty. I had to add $5 to my Zeph Energy account that I probably won't use, and to use a free charger, like what? But yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the like button if you enjoyed this. Hopefully you did if you're making it this far. If you made it this far and you don't like it, why are you still here?
Don't be a meanie butt.
But thank you guys for watching, and be sure to subscribe so you can see our journey back to Charlotte as well. Bye.